Hey, what's going on, people? Yeah, I promise you, one of these days in the near future, I'll start showing my face again. I'm not insecure about anything. Like I said, I didn't get attacked by a bear. I didn't get, a bunch of piercings on my nose. Nothing happened to me. I just shaved, but I just like talking without looking into the camera more too. But I was looking at my and this will be the last video for the day. Looking at my comment section and interactive response, like this a user by the name of to do heron, like Gil Scott Heron responded about the video I just posted. And let me say this, like I said, I watched Tariq Nasheed, and I know that I said white supremacist in my last video. I know I said that, and you probably wondering, why do you keep who are these white supremacists? Like, who are these people? Because if you go back on my old videos, that's why I don't delete nothing. I always keep everything. I don't delete no videos, but if you look at my old videos from almost 3 years ago, I'm not talking like this at all. And a lot of it is just my growth as a person. I'm just seeing things for what they are. But let me just break this down to you. So I don't believe, and I know this sounds like a contradiction, but I don't believe that nobody has any kind of supremacy over me. Nobody has no kind of power over me because I'm black. That's just a word that I will use. It's a lazy way of saying, like, competition, I guess. You know, it's like I don't know, man, because I look at life as a competition now. But let me break this down to you, because he asked me, well, he was explaining that it's more of the left trying to divide us. And let me just say this first. So I don't vote anymore. I'm not voting in this upcoming election, 2024 election. I could care less who wins, because both of them, I'm just starting to see are horrible people. Trump has no loyalty to his real supporters that are in jail. And Biden is a horrible president, but like I said, I'm not worried about if he does another 4 years or not. I'm worried about working and finishing college, finishing school. But let me say this. If you watch my old videos, you would know how things got to where they are, where it's not that I want, let me just say this. It's not that I want to think like this, but have you ever been out of work for a whole month and you're not making any money? You're just sitting around and thoughts just float through your head, reminding you how you're a failure. And you are reminded how you lost those jobs. People probably ran you out, or it was a hostile work environment. And let me just tell you this is just, like I said, I'm getting old every day. I'm learning every day. But the restaurant job, the last restaurant that I worked at, let me tell you how that job ended. There was this girl who worked there who she was a horrible ass person. She was always gossiping about people, talking shit about people, and she wound up having an abortion. I don't support abortion at all. I know, women that are raped, people say how they shouldn't carry a child that's by rapists, or if it is affecting the health of a woman, they shouldn't have to have a pregnancy. That rarely happens. We're talking a rare instance. Most of the time, women are having abortions by kids that they don't want. And who is being aborted the most? black children. And ironically, the girl who was always talking shit, she was a white girl. She had a baby by like a half black dude. So yeah, she killed the. I don't consider that baby black. Well, the fetus black, but she killed a potential half. What do you call like a somebody that's yeah? She's 3/4 white, so she has like 1/4 black in her. You wouldn't even could really tell if because her kid that she was bringing at the job, she looked like a white baby, to be honest. But I made a joke one day to the Hispanic girl that I was kind of cool with. I just said that somebody here killed the baby, and she laughed at it. So then I told this other white girl who was a little annoyed with me a little bit. Anyway, I think she wanted to just get like she was gonna have a reason to just not fuck with me, whatever. She told the girl what I said, and then I got around the job, and it was like 3, 4 black people there. But let me say this: a lot of the blacks there, a lot of the black people that worked there were kind of like coonish, not for opinions, but a lot of them there were some coons. Like one dude was telling me how I asked him, "How do you work here without feeling uncomfortable?" Like with you, because I was working in Georgia, and he was saying, "You know what code switching is?" I was like, "Yeah," and he just smiled at me, and I just said, "Bro, that's it." I was telling myself if shucking and jiving had like a dictionary definition, like a picture in the dictionary, his face would be a perfect picture for shucking and jiving and cutting the jig. But anyway, um, over time, they were making my time there very uncomfortable after I told that joke. But let me explain this. I feel like they gained up on me because they didn't like the idea that I'm like not that I'm working there, but they didn't feel like I had the room to make a joke about one of their own. So it felt like that because I made jokes about myself and other like I made jokes about black people, no problem. And not like deprecating jokes, but I would just make little jokes about like stereotypes and all that. That's funny, but I just say a joke got around, and that's why I don't talk to people at the job no more. Because when you fuck with somebody's money, that's where you draw the line. But anyway, I wound up leaving because they were just doing a lot there. They were trying to get rid of me after I said that joke. But I had to, when I wasn't working, at least when I left the last place, I had to come to the understanding that race is real. Not that it's holding me back. Let me make this very clear. I don't think that race is holding me back, but people are comfortable being around others that look like them. And when there's a lot of them and less of you, they feel more power to gang up on you. That's what I felt at a couple jobs. And I had to get to the understanding as an adult that that's just how the world works. I hate to say it. It's not that I want to think like this, but the reality is, I'm going to say this again. The reality is when we are competing for jobs, when we're competing for housing, when we're competing against one another, there's no friends, there's no brothers, there's no togetherness, there's no unity. We're not all Americans. Unfortunately, it's us and them. That's just the reality of that. I had to learn that the hard way. Let me tell you, if you look at my video, my story of being in Wisconsin, just traveling there for a little bit, I had the real dirty way of being told they didn't want me working there at all. They didn't like my presence. Not based on them saying it, but their behavior showed it enough. I mean, if you really like the presence of a person, and it's not that I was a bad person, I was a really, happy go lucky person. Like I wasn't rude, I wasn't angry. I mean, if you really love the presence of another person, you wouldn't talk shit behind their back. You wouldn't try to get them fired. You wouldn't try to dig up dirt on them or ask them a billion questions that doesn't concern you. I had no business being there anyway, but the point I'm making is this. Working a lot of jobs, and when there isn't like my own, because I'm not saying it would be any better if I worked around just my own race, because there's going to be problems there too. But what I have learned is there is no unity amongst races. I don't want it to. I don't want to think like that. But what do you think I'm going to come to the conclusion of if I've experienced so much? Like, not. It's not that it's racism. It's not that it's white supremacy. It's more of I just understand how races operate when it's more of them and less of you. And it goes both ways, to be fair. When there's more black people and there's an Asian person, that one Asian person, or that one white person, or that one Hispanic person, or whatever, they're going to gang up on them too, to be fair. But I have caught a lot of wake up calls. And let me say this again. I had a lot of wake up calls. One time, I went for a walk in a mostly white neighborhood, and they called the cops on me. Now, I understand I shouldn't have been walking there in the first place because I didn't live around there. But the point is, they understand I'm not one of them. I don't look like them. That's why they called the cops on me. It's really because I don't want to make this video too long because I don't want to burn my data. But the point I'm making is this. That whole, and I said this too. I said how people who don't look at race, they tend to be a lot older. That's because they're not competing for anything, because everything they have, they're done competing. They're done working for their piece of the pie. They're not working like me and you. But I'm working, and I just come to this understanding. Maybe my opinion may change one day. I don't know, but I caught a lot of wake up calls, man. I had to leave a job, the restaurant I had to leave, and I shouldn't have said that joke. But if you get mad at me for making a joke about something, call everything out. Don't just get mad at that one joke. But I called a wake up call. I had a lot of jobs where wasn't many black people there. I didn't think it was a problem. At the time, I looked at just people being people. But that's really not the case a lot of times. Everybody is not comfortable. I'm not saying all, but everybody is not comfortable with people in their presence that don't look like them or don't have the same culture. That's just what it is. But in no way am I blaming anybody. I'm doing rather well right now. I can finally read without getting tired. I have a job. I'm happy. It's just, and I'm not blaming anybody, white supremacy, white people. I'm not blaming people. I'm just telling you the reality of race in this country. We will never really come together because that's just unheard of. People can barely be nice to each other. It cracks me up when people don't look at race, but you don't like. I used to, and this is the thing, I used to care for other people, but when you see somebody on the street, not that I'm doing it now, but when you see somebody on the street, people barely care that that's somebody on the street, that's somebody starving, somebody hungry. You telling me that you don't care about that person, but you don't look at the race of a person? I just can't. I can't ignore that.